The doctor's in. Welcome aboard, everyone. Bill Schindler with you. It's Sports Radio 92.9, The Game. And it is time for Dr. Sigmund Fraud. That's right. One of our favorites. Dr. Sigmund Fraud, in case you were wondering, is a non-board licensed sports psychologist offering the best marginal advice into the sporting mind. If you'd like to give us a call, air out your sporting dilemma, 404-741-0929, or the Solomon Brothers Diamond text line at 22929. Either way, you can call and get advice from the doctor. And we've got them lining up already. We do have them lining up already. Here we go. We have one already from Jimmy from Decatur. Jimmy writes to Dr. Fraud, "The Hawks have been unreal this season. Should I let myself believe they can go all the way?" Jimmy, my medical advice to you, I'm not sure if you want to go all the way here, but I think you could go Eastern Conference Finals. That's pretty realistic. I'm saying believe that for sure. If not, it's been one of those years you're going to look back and go, oh, man, what the heck happened? Yikes. And now we've got a caller for Dr. Fraud, I believe. Henry from Lithonia. Henry, you're on with Dr. Sigmund Fraud. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I guess the patient that is lying on the table is the Atlanta fan. No, I'm not calling myself an Atlanta fan. I'm just saying the Atlanta fan is fickle. You know, they built this momentum for Atlanta, you know, and that's what brought everybody on the board because they was winning. See, the Atlanta fans only going to support one thing, winning. And if they don't win, they will lose them, just like the other times that, you know, the history has already not shown.
Well, there's a lot of fan bases like that. I mean, come on, except maybe Clippers and Cubs fans. There's very few fan bases. You know, what's your team then, Henry? If you said you're not an Atlanta fan.
No. I'm not saying I don't support the Hawks. Trust me, I do.
Okay.
All right, then let's be clear on that. I do support the Hawks, but what I'm suggesting is basically if the Hawks build this beautiful momentum and they sit up here and quit on something that they have already done started, then everything that they're done will be for naught. And I don't think they come this far to turn back now.
It will feel like an empty season. I get what you're saying.
Yes. So they need to finish what they started.
All right, Henry. Appreciate it. We got Chico from Lilburn. Chico, you're on with Dr. Sigmund Fraud. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just curious about your opinion on how much the lack of so-called respect that a lot of professional teams seem not to get from the media has to do with the stigma that the South still carries in your New Yorks, your bigger major markets. You know, just the stigma of being from the South.
Northeast bias, essentially, right?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Northeast bias, essentially.
Yes, sir.
There's some of that. I mean, I agree. Look, it's, you look at Major League Baseball, still the Yankees, the Red Sox are going to get a lot of press. The South is coming up in the world. I mean, I just drove through Alabama last week, and, man, you talk about a ton of factories and starting the economy starting to boom. But, a lot of people don't see that. I understand what you're saying. Okay.
I totally agree that, respect when it comes to professional sports has to be earned. 1 ring, 2 ring, 3 rings. I get tired of hearing, how many rings do you have, but I think it has a lot to do with just the way people look at the South, Yeah.
Well, hey, things are changing. And, it can only win. It represents the city. And that's the thing with teams. You want to represent the city. You want the city to look good, right?
Right.
Yeah. And, I think it's, Atlanta fans, we've been waiting for a while for that. And, hey, the Hawks, it feels – I think that's what some of the suffering is about today is you want that pride. You want that recognition. You want people to embrace it and not say, the Hawks are a fluke. Appreciate the call. Do you want to call Dr. Fraud? Vent your sports, whatever you would like to do, vent your sports catharsis here on air. We can certainly help you, or you can text us too. We have Mel from Alpharetta, who is texting. He writes, Dr. Fraud, I need the Falcons to take Todd Gurley in the draft. And then he writes UGA 3 times. UGA! Exclamation point. Thank you, Todd. We got that. Todd, I don't know. We'll talk about that later in the show when we get to the draft. That'll be coming up in the next hour when we have Joe Buck as well talking some Major League Baseball. But it could happen. That would be a very big stretch, especially the way running backs have been taken there. So I understand you've got your fan base there, especially if you're a UGA guy, and you'd love to bring him home. You'd love to have somebody come in and, be one of those hometown guys, could play his whole career here. It's a nice story. Could be the savior of the team. It's awfully high, though. The eighth pick, especially the way running backs have been going. Bill from Manchester. I still can't get used to spelling Nick Markakis' name. Please help. Bill, look, I'm not a good speller. Here's what I suggest to you. Just go, initials. Unless you're keeping score a lot, right? You're not the official scorer of the team. If you're the official scorer of the Braves, you need to learn how to spell. Other than that, just go with the letters. That's what I'm saying. 770, no name on this one, but once Atlanta in any sport wins a championship, then ESPN or SportsCenter will give us a chance. This is really funny. Now, Atlanta is a big market, okay? I mean, Atlanta is a big market, and we know this because this is the business I'm in. And I know, we had the caller say about how the South doesn't get respect. Atlanta really is a big place. I know the South, you kind of go outside of Atlanta, it's, a little bit different than just being in the city. You're kind of in that island, in that bubble. But there's a lot of these feelings. I mean, I've been around the country, and you go to different cities, and they feel like, man, we just don't get that respect. We just don't get talked about. I mean, look, I went to college in L.A. L.A.'s the number 2 market in the country. Everybody out in L.A. is like, West Coast bias. West Coast bias, man. Nobody talks about us because we're out on the coast, and it's sunny, and we got beaches. It's like everybody has that little bit of a chip on their shoulder. So, look, that's normal. Donnie from, he didn't leave where he's from. He says, Dr. Fraud, I have an itch. And Donnie, look, I'm not that kind of doctor. So we suggest you go see somebody real about that one. And probably penicillin. Jeffrey from Cobb County. He says, if you lived in Hawaii so long, where did you go on vacation? That's right. I did live in Hawaii. That's why I'm wearing the shirt today. Mentioned that before we started the show at the top of the hour. I went all over the place. A lot of people go to Vegas from there, though. That's the big thing. Everybody goes to Vegas. Here you go. Stanley. Stanley writes, I have an idea of how the Braves should close Turner Field. Oh, gosh. Stanley, this is, I don't know. I don't know if I like this idea. Let it go down the way General Sherman intended, is how he writes. Oh, Stanley. I don't know. That would be an interesting way to go out. Let's see. Chris from Marietta. If the Falcons get fined for pumping in fake crowd noise because they didn't have enough people, why do they need a new stadium anyway? Ouch. It's a little vicious. And let's see, one last one from the 770. Dr. Fraud, I need some medicine for these idiots that are texting in right now. I'm a huge Gurley fan, but drafting him at 8 would be a huge mistake. Justin, you're making perfect sense. And that's coming from a medical professional. When we come back, we'll talk a little Braves. Get baseball started. Joe Buck, next hour. The voice of the World Series on Fox. He's going to join us. Stay tuned for that. Bill Schindler with you. Thanks for staying up late. Sports Radio 92.9, The Game.